you know how you see all these mentors and shit now and they're like, I went through these fucking 20 things so you don't have to. What do you mean, man? Like, this motherfucker has to go through that. I think when I get an idea about something, I can't stop thinking about it. I'll envision myself doing something or being somewhere or with something or whatever. I'll get there to that moment and then I'll just be like, now what?
The biggest thing I think for 2025 is going to be that every single brand, if they're remotely intelligent, will be going into community.
I used to say to guys, I'm like, made like $2 million, and you'd tell someone and they'd be like, why are you still working? You will never, ever get to that point, because like that's their first thing. I just don't want to work. If that's like your seated mindset, you're fucked, like straight away. Even if I was to open anything now, like I would turn it into a brand. It doesn't matter what the fuck it is, man. It can be a fucking toothpaste. And if you don't use that opportunity to turn it into an institutional brand, it's just a wasted opportunity. If you want to go learn something, go learn people. That's like probably one of the most important things in the world. Just go study people, go study fucking leadership. It's so important, man.
If someone was coming to Bali and they also wanted to open a small cafe or something like that was their dream, how much do you think they would need in investment-wise to just get up and running? Right, folks, so we're here today with my good friend Ben, big brother Ben.
Hello.
Ben from Open House Ben. I don't know Ben's second name, Ben. What is your second name?
Nilsen.
Nilsen.
Yeah.
Nice. And Ben is the owner of everyone's favorite cafe in Bali, Open House. I'm representing. He actually didn't ask me to wear this, I just wanted to do it.
Yeah,
in fact, he actually told me, he said like, don't wear it, but I love this t-shirt and it's sick.
I don't like doing that sort of stuff, you know? I don't want it to be like some sort of...
Yeah, but it's not. We're not.
I know. I mean, like, if you're that happy to wear it, then that means means more to me, you know?
I mean, I didn't take it out of the packet for like 2 months because I knew that it would probably get a little bit discoloured in Bali, but...
We'll make heaps over time.
But they were limited edition for a time.
They are, that is.
Exactly.
I'll never ever remake any of them.
So that's why I should never have got it washed in Bali, because it's got stains on, but oh well, it is what it is.
But it is what it is, man, you know? That's what makes it even more...
That's true.
Yeah.
And Ben is also wearing his other brand's t-shirt, which is Hellbent, which I didn't even know existed. This is why I wanted to have a podcast with Ben today, because I'm just extremely curious. We've become really good friends over the last few months, and I just feel like we never actually get down to sit and have a real conversation, because we're always like...
It's hard, eh? We're always at the cafe.
You're working.
We've never done it, eh?
Yeah, never. This would be good, actually. Yeah.
I didn't have really thought about it that way.
So like I've planned absolutely no questions, and I have a lot of curiosity, and it will be nice because Ben is literally like, Open House is probably one of the busiest places in Bali. So it's like a million miles an hour all day, every day. So now we're going to sit without our phones.
That's why I look like this.
It is exhausting. Like,
it is a little bit. I think the thing is when I think about it is that it was never the goal for it to be the way you describe it. You know what I mean? And I think the hard part is right now is readjusting our vision to match the demand or the growth. You know what I mean? That's the hardest part, because we're kind of like, hang on, like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, this wasn't what we planned for. You know, we'd already achieved, like 3 months ago, we'd achieved what we wanted to achieve, and we were happy. And now it's like, what's going on here? I don't know if have you experienced that before, where something got bigger than what you expected, or you started something as like a hobby and then...
Well, I think the Run Club has kind of turned into that, and now it's like a response.
You have people flying from internationally.
Bangkok. Some guy flew from Bangkok.
Bangkok.
Some guy.
What a legend! How far away is that?
No, some guy legit. Like, but yeah, and then there's a lot of responsibility, and then there's an expectation, and as you said, we don't like to have people expecting certain things, but when everyone's going around spreading the word and saying Open House is the best place in the world,
makes it hard.
It's got the best music, it's got the best vibe, then the expectation is kind of very high.
Yeah, it makes it hard. It definitely makes it hard. And it's, I think, like I said, having to take a step back and have awareness and to be able to speak to people and get feedback and sort of realize, it's hard to comprehend, because at the same time, you're going through a new evolution of everything, like social, community, business, finance, services, branding. You know, everything's just like accelerating so fast, and you like don't have like time to. And then you sort of like try to think, all right, what's the solution? Like, do we get more people in to help us? Do they understand what's going on? Do we even understand it ourselves? That's probably the biggest problem. You don't even understand it yourself. That's why I feel apprehensive to come and talk to you today as well, because I'm like, even though I understand what I want to do and what the vision is and what the goals are, I don't feel like my values and morals and all that sort of shit are fully aligned with where I want to be, or where I want this brand to be, or what I want it to represent, or how I want you to feel when you are a part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm like, I don't feel like I'm ready yet to fully express. But it's also a cool phase to be in as well, because you're just like...
I feel like, I don't know what your intention was with it, but I feel like it's become something that you could have never even imagined. And
I think so.
As you said, part of it, the reason I think that we as well connect so well is because we are like, even though you said you're a little bit of an introvert, you're still a people person. Like, you're very good at talking to people. You're very good at making people feel like they're part of the family and feel...
Yeah.
Like,
I enjoy leadership.
Yeah.
I'm an introvert, but I enjoy leadership. I think leadership's such an important thing. I've always enjoyed, like, if someone like gives me a responsibility, that's when I thrive the best. Even when I used to work and stuff like that, I would hate just being like just a worker or whatever. You know, I would always, like, if someone said like, man, like, you're in charge of this and you need to get this done, I would operate a million times better. I don't know, are you like that?
Yeah, I think that, for example, now, like, being on Instagram, being on YouTube, having the run club, and like everyone around here seems to know me. Like, there was 80 people at the run club today.
That's
I think
crazy.
that kind of makes up from when I was a kid and at school and I wasn't like the most popular. And I don't know if it's like a trauma that just hasn't been healed, but now, like, obviously I love having all of the... I like attention. Like, I'll never...
But it's kind of like I think that's like a huge byproduct of leadership. And like, you know, because you're the leader. Like, you got a responsibility to like create some sort of culture or community, or, you know, set the standard or the bar or whatever for whatever it is that you're trying to achieve.
Exactly. And I just finished the mastermind this weekend, and I was responsible for 12 guys. And on the run club, I'm responsible for all those people. Like, I don't think they can understand sometimes when, like, I'm literally worried the whole time that someone doesn't get hit by a car or a motorbike. Because it's literally on me.
Yeah.
And like, at the mastermind, we did Muay Thai on the roof, and I was thinking, like, if someone just falls off, like, everyone chose to do Muay Thai on the roof.
Yeah.
And I said to everyone, like, are you sure you want to? But again, it's all on me. It's all, like, people don't understand the pressure that's on our back.
Yeah.
But I also think it's so rewarding and fulfilling.
It is. You have you have to take that on, and
because it's worth the reward.
It is. Yeah, it is.
100%.
It is. I think that's what I mean. I think with this is like, and it's usually the unseen. It's the things that you can't comprehend and that you can't imagine are the things that end up sort of like materializing, and they end up being the most rewarding things. You know, like, for example, for you, like, you don't charge anyone to do your run club or anything like that. You do it for free. You wake up every morning. You organize everything. It's a lot of time, a lot of effort, and like, there's no monetary incentive behind it. But the things that you get, that's sacrifice, and that's like a lot of things that's something that a lot of people don't have, and that's why they don't get anywhere, because they're not willing to like do that effort or whatever without getting that instant gratification or whatever.
It's so true.
Yeah. That's something that I've noticed anyway a lot around here. You know, you speak to people and then they go, like, when will I get this? And you're like, man, like, you can't think like that. It doesn't work like that. The world doesn't work like that, you know?
I think one of my biggest lessons for that was like doing YouTube and like posting videos for 3 or 4 years and getting no views.
Yeah.
And that just allowed me to become more patient in all areas of my life, so that I know that, like, eventually when stuff does start to come of it, like, I know that if I continue to do this for X amount of time and be patient and have no expectation, I know that the reward will come.
But you enjoy it, right?
Exactly.
That's the whole point. Like, that's like the same as open houses. People say like, oh, you just started this, you got no experience. And I'm like, I don't have any experience, but I have been hosting dinners at my house for like fucking 15 years straight, man. Like, I would message everyone on a Friday. I'm like, everyone come to mine. I'm cooking dinner. We're playing music. We're dressing up. Like, later we'll make cocktails and fuck around, and that's where you learn about, you know, mood, atmosphere, lighting, music, you know, food. And I guess it's the same thing. You don't really know what's going to happen down the track, but I guess that's the power of action and just doing stuff and organizing stuff. And you know what I mean? It always comes back down to that experience. I think we were talking about this the other day. I was talking about it with Addy, and it was like, I speak to a lot of people and they hate what they're doing now, but they don't realize that a lot of the things that they're doing right now actually come back to help you with whatever it is that your dream is or whatever the big goal is. Like, you need that experience from doing those fucking shitty jobs or being around in those environments or whatever, you know? And, yeah, I think that's a really, really big part of getting to that level of even where you are now. Like, you just got to go through all that shit. We were talking about it yesterday, like, you know how you see all these mentors and shit now and they're like, I went through these fucking 20 things so you don't have to. And like, I always watching them, I'm like, what do you mean, man? Like, this motherfucker has to go through that. Like, how can you try and stop them from making all these mistakes? Like, you have to fail. It should be like kind of, I don't know how you would word it, but it would be like, you know, I made these 20 mistakes. You're going to make these 20 mistakes. This is how you deal with it better or something like that. You know,
that's true. That's actually really good advice. I think I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, and I think that every time I make a mistake, it just makes me a better person. Like,
yeah, you got to fail.
I honestly don't regret anything that I've ever done.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, okay, that was just part of the journey, part of the process.
I love it, eh?
Yeah.
I love it. I love that feeling, like, of that, you know, where you feel a little bit sick in your stomach and you're like, oh, what have I done here? You know, or like,
I know that feeling so well.
Yeah, I've done it so many times, man. Like, it caused my parents so much trauma when I was a kid. And but I always like had like an empathetic, you know, reflection. I
think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, you go, oh fuck, what have I done? You know, and then you sit back and you go, like, all right, well, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, and
how
can I fix?
Yeah, but you have to kind of go through it. Like, even if you like do something like take out a massive loan or whatever for something stupid, for example, and then it puts you in like this situation where you're like living week by week. Can't do things, you're making bad decisions, blah, 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 list goes on. And then you like manage to finally get out of it. And then you're just like, fuck, I'm not doing that again. Why did I do that? Why did I buy that car or whatever, you know, like.
And I think that's the difference between you and me and like a lot of entrepreneurs, is that they're just willing to take those risks. And like the normal guys who are just happy in their 9 to 5 are just so terrified of ever doing anything like that they can't even handle the stress, they can't handle the pressure. And they're scared to take those risks that me and you just do it without, like, I'm not on your level yet, but I like to think I'm a little bit of a risk taker, and I just see what happens. Like,
yeah, I'm not a huge risk taker, man. Like, I think obviously I take a lot of risks and like I do some pretty extreme things that I feel like would definitely like, you know, could potentially cripple like a normal person. Like, I've done some fucking pretty intense things, like even financially. But I think, fuck, I don't know how to articulate it. I think the big thing.
It's fine, take your time.
I think I can't even remember what we were talking about.
No, just taking risks and just having, like, bro, when you opened Open House, like, that was a cafe already and it wasn't working, and like, for you to even take that spot and it hadn't worked out for the previous customer. Like you said, you don't take risks, but for me, even opening a business in Bali is taking a risk.
Yeah, I think I know what I wanted to say now. I think I'm a very like calculated risk taker. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not like this crazy fucking like, yeah, let's just fucking do it. Let's just blow fucking 300 grand on this or whatever. I'm not like that.
Do you think you're impulsive?
I'm impulsive. I think when I get an idea about something, I can't stop thinking about it. You know what I mean? Like, if I imagine myself somewhere doing something, like, I just cannot until I do it. And like, even if I do it, like, and this is one thing that I'm trying to figure out for myself at the moment. But like, I have this problem. I don't even know if it's a problem, but I'll envision myself doing something or being somewhere or with something or whatever, and I just cannot stop fucking thinking about it. And then I'll get there to that moment and that point, and then I'll just be like, now what? You know what I mean? Like I have this real fucked up thing where I'm like, am I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I have this real fucked up thing where I get there and then it's like, but it's not a materialistic thing even, you know? Like most people will buy like a new computer or a new laptop and then they're like, they start mistreating it after a week and fucking all sort of stuff. But like for me, it's like this, if I'm going on a big pilgrimage and I get there and even I had it with, the biggest one that I had recently in my life was when I bought my dream home. I always like envisioned myself and it was like just during COVID and I wasn't sure what was going to happen in the world. So I thought, fuck, I'm just going to do it. You know what I mean? Cause like selfishly in my mind, I was like, okay, I don't know what the world's going to be like. And you know, you imagine that part of the world that we were in, it was very uncertain. And then I was like, all right, do I just selfishly go live my dream in my dream home where I can do all these things that I wanted to do, like invite people over and have parties and, you know, all that sort of stuff? Or do I play it safe and just like, you know, put the money in the bank and like go stay with my parents and fucking whatever? And I ended up taking the risk and I bought this home, which ended up being a good decision because prices went up significantly.
In Australia?
Yep.
Whereabouts in Australia?
In Perth.
Nice.
And then I had it and then after like 11 months, man, I was fucking like completely over it.
Really?
Yeah, and I left. I went into a rental. I went and moved into a rental with Claire.
Wow.
And like, cause then I sort of switched back to like business mode. You know, I was like, this isn't smart of me to be staying in here. And like I've already like lived out my sort of thing, and I just switched back to like, all right, freedom mode, like, because that's my overarching goal. Is that yours? I don't know.
Freedom mode,
yeah, freedom, mental freedom, physical freedom, financial freedom,
which girls somehow don't seem to understand the same as us.
Yeah, but they just like, that's their freedom is like probably like their us. I don't know what it is for them.
That's my biggest struggle is like,
I don't know. What's a woman's freedom?
I just want to do whatever I want every single day. And if I want to take a flight to Japan tomorrow to go skiing, I can just do it.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Like
That's freedom to me. Or like, you know, like during COVID, you know, like just for example, like a health freedom for me is like, you know, I didn't want to participate in that whole thing. And like, I didn't. And like it's because I was in a financial situation where I was like able to like do whatever I wanted to do with my health. That is like more important to me. Like I would do anything to be in that situation to make my own health decisions, you know, without subscribing to whatever whatever's going on.
Same as me.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? And like, that's where like, to me, that motivation to like wake up every day and work and grind and all that sort of stuff is, that's freedom to me. Yeah.
Do you feel like you still have freedom even though you've got the responsibility of open house where like
I'm definitely not there, bro.
Since I've met you, I haven't seen you take one day off. Apart from when you went back to Australia to sort your things out that you were selling to then have more freedom. Yeah,
but like I'm on the same that's why I'm happy to talk about stuff, but I'm like nowhere near where I want to be. Like but I'm and you know, I used to say when I was like 27, 28 and I was working, I was like, by 30, I'm not doing this. And then like, I was like 33 and I was still going.
How old are you now?
35. Nice. I just turned 35.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing. Like, a lot of advice that I've been listening to or reading recently has been like, you want to find something that you don't even want to retire from. Like,
I would never stop working, bro. Yeah, I would never stop working. Like, I used to look at when I was an electrician in mining, and I used to look at the fucking head honcho guy roll in and he's still wearing his high vis. He's fucking worth billions, man. And he still rocks up, walks around, looks at all the things. And I'm like, obviously I don't want to be doing that. But the principle of him like still working and doing his thing is like, I used to say to guys, I'm like say you like made like $2 million and you'd tell someone and they'd be like, why are you still working? And I'm like, looking at these people, I'm like, you will never ever get to that point because like that's their first thing. I just don't want to work. So like that's like like if that's like your seated mindset, you're fucked like straight away. And that's like 98% of the population. You go like, oh, here you go, man. Here's like $2 million. They'll just stop doing what they're doing. You know what I mean? That's like you're fucked. And that's why like even now like I've had all sorts of different levels of finance in my life, and I've never ever stopped working, like, because I don't know. Freedom's like a different thing. It's like you got to keep. You go to you just go to the next bracket. You know.
It's true.
I think Lou. I remember seeing a podcast with Lou talking, and he said it was like new level, new devil. I hell loved that, and I was like, that's fucking awesome because it's true. As soon as you go to the next level, there's a new guy waiting there for you, and then you go to the next one, there's a new guy waiting there for you, and you just got to keep,
It's true.
defeating.
Like, even if I did have millions in my bank account, I would still just live this exact same life that I'm living at. Yeah. I would pretty much live exactly the same.
Do you reckon you could argue you're almost like there then, or is there still more to tick off?
Yeah, for me, it's just helping a wider and even greater audience of people.
Yeah, I honestly truly believe that from you, and that's why I think that we get along so well, because we have the same sort of values and morals. Like when I say that, like that level of sacrifice that I'm willing to make for others, is like I truly, honestly believe and do that. Like I'm willing to play the longer game if like we can help more people along the way type thing. Like I genuinely, like I know people say that, but I mean, anyone could go look at the back end of Open House and look at margins and fucking all that and quality and all that sort of shit, and you would see straight away that it's not like set up for a profit-driven business. It's like a people-driven business. And I
think that's a long-term game, and that's what
it's long-term, man. Yeah, but everything is. Your business is long-term. You said you were making videos for 4 fucking years. That's long-term.
7 years now.
7 years, bro. It's long-term, man. But like people like will start doing something and they do it because they might watch you, and they're like, oh, Louis doing this, I want to do it, and they do it for like 3 days. I've seen guys like pick up like graphic shit and try to design stuff, and they're like do it for 1 week, and they're like, oh no, like this fucks, and it's like, man, this is, you got to live in, you to a degree you have to be a little bit fucking hellbent, and I think like that's like you have to have that a little bit of I don't know. Someone said to me the other day, it was like, all like the most like successful people I know are like fucking autistic or some shit. And I think you got to have a little bit of something.
No, bro, 100%.
I think you got to have something going on there. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if that's the right word, but yeah, you got to have like some sort of,
everyone that I meet, like basically just, what's it called? Like when you say that diagnose themselves as like autistic, like the successful guys. Like
I think it's so funny, man, because like, to me, like I've always joked about it.
It's like just like a different type of attention to detail, and like.
Yeah, when I was walking with Addy the other day, I said to him, I was like, I call it awareness analysis, and it's like your ability to experience something, and then reflect, or even just experience something in the moment and be present. And like analyze and learn and diagnose like the whole situation and like how you feel and how other people are responding and acting, and that's like a fucking superpower to me, man.
I 100% agree. And now that you say, I'm thinking about at all those, like even me and Ben have been DJing at Open House, and like even when we're playing songs, you're looking at how people are moving. You're looking at, are they Shazamming on their phone? Are they taking videos? You're looking at how people are responding.
And like my like how I think about everything, how everything works is like micro macro. I always have thought, and I still do truly believe that if you can analyze something on a micro scale, like a small room like that, then like the macro, is the exact same. Like so I always, I don't know. I think it's if you can have attention to detail, like what you said, and like have that awareness analysis about things, you're like ahead of 90% of the people, because like, I don't know, someone, even in hospitality, like I don't have any fucking experience, man. Like, but I've been to a lot of fucking cafes. I've sat in them for
hours.
Fuck knows how long, man. With my laptop, I've drank all the coffees. I've looked at all the cups. I've like felt the service, the warmth, the coldness, like, you know what I mean? Like I've sat in them, like, and everyone has, and it's like a wasted opportunity if you are experiencing life and not downloading this fucking information and then applying it to whatever it is that you're doing. Because like we were saying, like I think the whole point is like, I opened a cafe or whatever, but the principles of like the emotions and the foundations of everything are the same. They can be applied to your brand, to his photography business. It's like it's the same. Everything's the same because it's just the same laws and the same whatever that governs everything. You know.
It's so true. Let's just go into detail about open house, and then I want to ask about like your childhood and stuff like that, like a little bit more personal. But so for open house, had you been living in Bali before, or were you just like?
Nah, I was traveling a lot the previous couple of years. I've always traveled a lot, but I've only been here for like probably close to 12, 13 months now. Not long. I just came like straight in. I had a very close friend of mine, Luke, who lived here. He had a tattoo shop. He'd been here for like 2 years, and you know, I was traveling in Japan with him, and he sort of gave me the confidence and the inspiration to do it. You know what I mean? I was like, you know, I don't want to go home. Like the pain of going home at like 33, 34 or something like that, and just like going straight back to being normal again, just like forced me to take risk and do whatever. But obviously I'd earned the right to make that risk. You know what I mean? That's what I was saying before about being I don't think open house would have worked if I used my last fucking dollar to open it. You know what I mean? Because then you're like, oh, no, I can't give Louis 3 eggs.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I really think is the key is like, yeah, it might work for like some people, but I think you really have to earn like it, because
I completely agree. Like Alex Hormozy recently, I listened to him a lot, and he says like when you're able to live like in abundance, everything is like easier and more enjoyable, and more opportunities come.
That's why, like, it's true, man. It's true. Like, you do have to earn it. And so, like, that's what I'm saying about the long game, or like what we're talking about, the long game is like, if you want to start doing something like that, you need to start fucking working on shit now. You need to start saving now. You need to start figuring out whatever it is, you know, like, and start building this plan. And it's like a long plan, like, because for me, open house is a free hit. The reason why it's so good, potentially from my own reflections, is because it was a free hit. You know what I mean? There's like no expectations. There's no fucking, we need to make this much. I've never looked at a fucking P&L. I don't even know how much.
What is a P&L?
Profit and loss. I don't even know where the fucking money goes. I've never paid myself a single cent from there. I don't care about money from there. I just want to like meet you. You're happy. I'm happy. I've made good friends. The network's grown. We've made something special for people. I'm happy.
That's also one of the really good things about living in Bali is that money doesn't matter. Like,
I don't think so, man.
And like it strips everything back. Like when you're in Dubai and people are driving around in G-Wagons and Lambos at that, like,
I hate that shit, man.
Yeah, like it's just.
That's what I think is a big thing these days, and I think a lot of people are working it out now. I think like organic and artificial is like, I think people are getting smarter. Surprisingly, you'd think that they'd be getting worse, but I think they're getting a bit smarter now and figuring out like authentic intent, substance, you know what I mean? And they're like more pushing for that organic growth instead of like this thing that you can tell straight away, man. I look at stuff all the time. I think a classic example is like these coffee raves at the moment, you know what I mean? And everyone's like, they see like AM radio doing it and then they're like, oh, we can do that. But like they don't love music. They don't love fucking, you know, atmosphere vibes. They just like put some speakers in and get a DJ, and then you look at it and you're just like, man, this is fucking lame. You know what I mean?
You need a certain crowd of people as well, and that's what open house brings.
Yeah, well, that's branding.
Yeah,
that's why branding's so important. You know, even if I was to open anything now, like I would turn it into a brand.
Yeah, brand and like philosophy as well, like
anything.
What you stand for.
It doesn't matter what the fuck it is, man. It can be a fucking toothpaste. And if you don't use that opportunity to turn it into a brand, like a institutional brand, it's just a wasted opportunity. So true. It is.
Right, people are going to ask, I know for sure, what did you do to be able to put yourself into your current financial state? So like, what did you do? Did you have a normal job? Like,
yeah, I was electrician.
Yeah. Till what age?
From like 21, 22 to 33.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you saved all your money and then...
Most of it, yeah. I mean, WA's different, man. It's like one of the golden tickets of the world, in my opinion. I'm just super lucky to be like, my dad always used to say to me, he's like, man, you're born in an English speaking country, you got you can go study for 4 years or do an apprenticeship for 4 years, and then you just go up into mining and resources, and you're on like 200K a year, after 4 years. And then every year, like 200, that's like probably like minimum over the average time,
And then you saved it all.
Nah, definitely not. Nah, I went through phases of materialism and, just being young, the more you earn, the more you spend type thing, buying all sorts of weird shit, going to places, partying heaps. Like I've wasted so much money, man. So much money.
If someone was coming to Bali and they also wanted to open a small cafe or something, like that was their dream, how much do you think they would need in investment-wise to just get up and running?
Probably 250K.
Really?
I think so.
Australian?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I mean, like, if you want to make a good one,
yeah.
I mean, there's no point opening a shitty one, otherwise you're fucked because no one's going to go there.
It's true.
But I think that's just going off open house. And I mean, like, you'd probably have to put, like, when we first got here, we were there was nothing in Peronin.
Yeah.
Like, St. Ali wasn't there. Like, all that was only, I didn't even, like, it was literally just a shell. Like, the whole building was a shell. There was nothing there, and that's why we got it so cheap. So, I mean, if you were to come here now, you would probably have to, like, push to the next level, like, to the next spot as well. It would be like Sese or Lima or something like that.
Wow, so imagine how much our gym's going to cost.
I don't know, probably like 2 million.
Me and Ben really want to open our own gym.
I don't think you would ever lose, though, to be honest, man, because there's so much missing here. And again, it comes from experience, like that's where open house comes from. Open house didn't come from like, oh, I want to open a cafe and make heaps of money. It was like, this is missing for me here. I love it here. I love this place. I love the people, but this is really missing for me.
What was missing?
Open house. Like good food, good music.
What determines good food for you?
Clean, good ingredients. Like a lot of the time, like, I don't want to talk about it too much,
no,
but
yeah,
but like, like the quality of like produce is very vast here. You know what I mean? Like from Wurrung spec to,
high
end, yeah, like fancy. And I feel like I was experiencing a lot of the low end and like not feeling the greatest all the time. And so I didn't know that it was possible at that point, but I just knew that that's what I wanted. You know what I mean? That's obviously when I sat down with the gung, I was like, this is what I would like to do. And, luckily just over time, it's just, we've been able to achieve like a certain level. We've still got a long way to go, man. Like, fuck, we opened it together in 8 weeks, man. Like, I made the menu in Canva, like, and this is the thing is like, we made everything like in an 8-week period. Like, we literally bought it from BGS, and then we were like, we need to open, and I was like so paranoid about. I remember like I was like, fuck, like I don't even know what to do, man. You know what I mean? And that's why I say to everyone, like I even sent it. Artie, I'm like, man, if I can do this, then I think anyone can do it. But obviously, like, there's things that need to be in place, like what we discussed before. Building up your capital, building up your knowledge and experience with people. And people's like, I say to everyone, man, if you want to go learn something, go learn people. That's like probably one of the most important things in the world. Just go study people, go study fucking leadership. It's so important, man. So important because like, I don't know, you might be the same, but for me, whenever I reflect on all the successes I've had in life, it wasn't from me. Like I'm probably like have the ideas, but like it was from people. Like other people have always like worked harder, not for me, but for the vision, collective vision. But I've understood how to make it work like with them and then like make it sustainable in a way where like they're happy, I'm happy. But I'm not really like, even now at Open House, man, like there's so many moving parts that make it work, but it's not really me. You know what I mean? Like I'm fucked without like all those guys over there, and I know that, and that's why I look after them so well and treat them with so much respect and whatever, and try to keep it mutual. That's just normal stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I think a lot of people don't understand it.
I'm just going to paint a picture for everyone listening so that they can fully understand what open house is. You can tell me if I miss anything, but basically the area that we live in is a place called Pereranan, which is like a couple of streets over from Canggu, so we're kind of out of the mess of Canggu, like the horrible traffic, like the huge amounts of people. And on our street, we have like a few gyms and a few cafes, but it's like eventually Canggu will like move, like the people will move across, and the next town is Sese. But open house, you go in, and it's all outdoor. It's got like a roof, but it's outdoor vibes, no AC, fans, which I really like.
I prefer it too.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Plants everywhere, nice lights, and good music. And I think that's one of the first things that people notice when they walk in is like the music's playing loud, but not too loud. You can still have a conversation.
It can get a little bit loud sometimes.
It can get a little bit loud when
me and
Ben are playing, but people enjoy it.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I've had like some people come in, but as well, like that's why there is like 10, 15 cafes. Like you choose where you want to go and what atmosphere you want. Like that's why, like, if we were to like change our branding or whatever, or our culture, like for one person, like it doesn't
work.
Yeah, you got to
please everyone.
You can't, man. You can't. It's really hard, man, because like I said, I'm a really empathetic person. If someone comes to me with like feedback, I'll like really, really like take it in, and like it'll stay with me for like some time until I can like sort of solve it or figure out how I can solve it to make it, you know, feasible for everyone. But it's just
we can't turn the music down.
We can't. I'm never going to turn it down. I've told so many people before, I'm like, man, there's so many other cafes that are quiet. Like, you know, this isn't an office.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know, man. For me, I'm like, that's like, as I said, I'm an introvert, definitely at heart, but I still enjoy like energy and like music.
It makes such a difference when you're sitting with your friends, eating nice food, and you're like, oh, this is a banger, let me Shazam it. Like, people love that.
I like
definitely
it.
Like,
but they're the people I want to be around.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what I said. Like this here, like this is like a filter. You know what I mean? And that, and you have, like, for me, like if I come out and I say I'm not doing it for profit, that's when I can make the decision where I say like, well, like I'm not like a place where they'll be like, all right, let's make this video, let's get this influencer in and try and get like as many people, like bums on seats. Like I would rather see, I said this to some guys last night, I said, I would rather see you guys every day or every second day or whatever it is, and, you know, not have to deal with like the Karens or the tourists or whatever, you know what I mean? Like to me, like that's like more, it's because the concept is like you have your best friends come over, you know what I mean?
And everyone's chilled.
There's nothing worse when someone, like, you're having like a party or something and then someone brings their friend and it's just like this weird dude or whatever, you know, and he's just fucking the whole atmosphere and the whole vibe up, and they're like, why'd you bring this guy, man? And he's all like in the corner, like, yeah.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
The Brando's the filter.
Yeah, and even though it's a cafe, that can still happen. You know, you like it's like a club, and you're like, someone says let's go here, and you're like, nah, I don't like the people that go there. You know, it's the branding, which is like whatever, which attracts those people. Person, yeah, and for us, we're like, I would rather, like, that's what I mean. I would rather skip on profit and have a tighter niche group of people who are like all very passionate about the same things. That would make me happy. I would hate to go there, bro. If I walked in there in the morning and I saw these like fucking goblins that are like whinging all the time or like want certain things, or I wouldn't enjoy it, man. I'd honestly probably just fucking give it up.
Yeah.
But because like we've stuck to our lane and all that sort of stuff, and people like you said, like, man, how good are the quality of people that go in there?
No,
there's no bad people, man.
No, it's the best.
There's none, man. Honestly, I've never met a bad person in there.
No, and it's that's one
rare.
of the best things about it.
Yeah,
that's hard to do.
Yeah, man. And everyone talks to everyone. Everyone's friends. Like, it really does feel like. But you have to stick to that. You can't just like, someone comes in and goes, oh, like so loud or this, that, and then you're like, oh, sorry, we'll fucking, and then all of a sudden they all start coming in and they're like infiltrate.
Yeah, and destroy the vibes.
Yeah, I mean, it happens to everyone. It's like a band back in the day. Like, they would release their first album, amazing album. Second album, okay. Third album, mainstream. And then they're just fucked. Yeah. Like, so I think eventually it happens, and then you have to like innovate again and like create like a new culture or subculture, and then everyone figures it out, and then they like attach to it, and then it becomes mainstream, and that's just like the evolution of culture.
And that's why I like as well how if we decide that we're gonna DJ, We don't post it. We don't tell
Never.
anyone.
Nah.
We just
spontaneous. Spontaneous. Yeah.
And that way people don't like. It's not that we don't want people to come just because we're DJing, but it's like just more of like, again, no expectations. People come and they hear us play and they see us having a good time. They have nice food, and it just enhances the overall.
Yeah. Well, it's like I've noticed. Do you know the reason why I do it is because of a classic situation. I don't know if you've experienced this, but when someone goes, "We're going here, we're doing this," and then at 7:30 we're gonna put this on, and then we're gonna go here, and you're like, you know what's gonna happen, and you're like, oh, I can't be fucked. You know what I mean? You're like, and I always notice like when we would be like to get to like the last 5 minutes, where you'd be at the beach watching sunset, and then you're like, should we go like just go for dinner or whatever? And you go for dinner and you have drinks, and then you're like having a chat, and the vibes are good, and it's like this crescendo effect of like you just keep building and building and building. And the whole thing's based on spontaneity, you know? And that's why, like, I treat open house like that. People always message me like, oh, you, like, fuck, I can't believe you did this. Like, you didn't even say anything. And it's like, well, you know, like, I don't know. That's my concept. That's why I don't say anything, because every time I've ever organised anything, no one rocks up.
Yeah.
And then when I fucking, you know, just do this random thing, everyone goes like, oh, you know what, maybe I will do that. You know what I mean? And you're like...
That's what happened with the run club too. Like, all of a sudden, like, it was just our, like, group of friends who came every week, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like, everyone started rocking up.
Yeah.
And then it was like, now it's, like, crazy, but, like, there's also times where...
80 people's crazy,
yeah,
man.
Where I won't post it, and we'll just run, like, with our smaller group, which is also nice, but, like... Yeah, it's great. I'm the same, spontaneous. Like, I love
spontaneous,
even
man.
if my
Women don't like it.
No, they hate it.
They hate that.
But I love it.
I love it, man.
Just I think as long as you don't have an expectation, you'll have a better time. Like, every time.
That comes back to like even like business and like what we're talking about with your, you know, we've just done a full circle. It's that same thing again, where you're like, you're just doing things out of passion, you know. And like, you know, like what your intent is and what your values are, and then you like eventually you get rewarded. You know what I mean? Whatever it might be, not financial. I'm not saying financially. It could be spiritually. It could be anything. You know.
And it can just be happy customers.
Yeah. Whatever it is.
Super fulfilling. Happy customers, happy staff. Like, that's
it's people, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really important.
And I feel like. Exactly, like me and you have so much in common, especially I think the people part. But again, with open house, just so everyone understands, like, they have two menus. They have the normal menu where you can order off the menu, like breakfast, lunch, dinner. Most people who go to open house go twice a day. They either go for breakfast and dinner or lunch and dinner. Like,
I go there twice a day.
I go there twice a day.
Yeah, I eat twice a day there.
And
I don't really know where else to go, to be honest.
No, bro.
Like,
every time I go somewhere else, if I ever do go somewhere else, I'm like, fuck, I should have just went to open house. It's the satisfaction level, like, so there's another menu which is like proteins, fats, carbs. Then there's like probiotics, so like sauerkraut, cabbage, kefir, all of that stuff. And then you've got like all the fruits, you've got all the sauces, and you can just create your own dish just by checking the boxes. And it's such a simple concept.
Do you cook?
No, I hate cooking.
You hate cooking?
Yeah, I'm so bad at it.
You love food though?
Yeah.
You shit cook?
I just don't ever cook. Even in Madrid, wherever I am, it's eat out for every meal.
Fuck.
Yeah.
You've never cooked. See, like, I've always cooked. I love cooking.
So then that's why it's so good.
Well, I mean,
But like, I think for open house as well, is like the quality of the ingredients is just so good.
Yeah, well, our margins are shit. Everyone thinks we make heaps of money. We don't make fuck all. It's just like, we're just working. That's what I mean. Like, this is the hard part. It's like, you got to work really, really hard for like very, very little in return, but the reward is like later.
Yeah, and there's also so much that can go wrong.
There's heaps that can go wrong. It's fucking hospitality, man. It's food.
And also in Bali, when the electricity goes off.
Yeah. All sorts of shit.
And the grill goes off, and the Wi-Fi goes off, and
something will happen to someone, and then they'll just be like, "Oh, I ate there. Like, it's definitely there. That's where I got it from." And I'm like,
that's one of the biggest ones, which
it's hard.
Like, I swear by, and I've told everyone, like, I do not get Bali when I eat in open house. But like, I'll still hear someone like, "Oh no, I definitely got it from them." I'm like, "Bro, you didn't." Like,
I think some people can maybe, but I mean, like,
you can get it from anywhere.
You can get it from anywhere, man. And like, I've like,
Just depend. I think when you come to Bali, like so many people ask me about Bali. I think
it's very
different bacteria.
Yeah,
you're brushing your teeth. You're drinking water. You've got ice in your drink.
There's a lot of variables, but I think it really comes down to the individual as well, because like.
And I also think you have to get it.
You have to get it once. Like I remember when I used to come here before, man, on a few trips, and like I would be like severely fucking ill, man. Like you know what it's like. You know what it's like.
But now I don't get it.
But like, you know, like even now, man, I eat at some of my favorite places, and I still get like stomach, like a bit of nausea or whatever. But like, I don't go like, oh, like I'm never gonna fucking eat there again. You know, like I order from heaps of different places on Gojek and stuff, and then like the next day or whatever, it's really just a part of Bali, man. Like we do everything we can to like reduce the risk. Like we've got fucking these big fuck off water filters like on our mains water, like all the fruit, veggie, salad, meat, whatever is all like, it's all fully filtered.
Yeah.
And like the thing is that what I say to people is like, man, I eat there every day. My family eats there and friends eat there every day. And there's no way I'm going to be like doing unhygienic shit to myself or like serving myself shit fucking crappy fucking $3 beef or whatever. You know what I mean? So like I always joke to people, I'm like, day see me stop eating there, that's when you can be concerned.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, you know, I don't know. You have people come in and say like, oh, I got sick from this, and I'm like, we sell 60, 70 fucking kilos a day.
It's crazy.
Like, what do you want me to tell you? Like, if we sold 70 kilos of beef, then like half of Bali would be fucking dying. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's just really comes down to the individual's experience, and like, I think once you just go through it, and then your gut fucking adapts, and then I never really get sick here.
Neither do I. Not anymore.
No. What were we talking about?
The menu, just the.
We always go on these like.
Just the menu that you take off. Another thing that everyone does when they first come to open house is they take everything on the menu, then they get a plate, and they don't realize that the portion sizes is way bigger. Than the majority of places in Bali, and I just see the plates going out, and it's just like that's.
My friend owns a business in Peron, and he came in the other day and he goes, look, I'm just going to fucking tell you something. He goes, you were giving people way too much fucking food. Like, he was like, I'm only telling you this because I care about you. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. You know, like, I don't care. Like, I really don't care. Because, like, for me, I'm like, it's funny when you speak to other business owners and they're, like, very business-minded. And, like, for me, I'm, like, genuinely, like, people-minded, you know? So I'm, like, just thinking, like, fuck, Louis had a good time. This person had a good time. Like, I don't care. Eventually, maybe we might have to, like, you know, someone listening to this right now might think I'm fucking insane, you know? And if they probably checked our books and all that sort of stuff, they would be like, man, like, you could be making hundreds of thousands of dollars more or whatever. And I'm like, at the moment, I'm like, let's just build. I always say to a gung, like, I'm like, let's just build the brand up. We don't pay ourselves like a single cent from it, man. Like, we save every single cent. Everything that we've earned, we've reinvested. And that's like something that I want to work on in the next couple of weeks, because like I really want to find a way. I think I have figured it out, but I want to find a way like how we can get like a community of people like together, and like they can influence, like, who really care about open house or like the concept of open house, and they can like sort of help like govern and like push the direction, because it's like their money. It's only possible because of like them supporting us, you know, and that's how I see it. So I want them to know, like, every time you eat here, like, it's not buying me a fucking new car or a house or whatever. I can earn that shit myself through other skills that I have, you know what I mean? It's like, it's going towards that bigger dream, you know, and it's not going to last forever, but that moment that we all work towards and we live in it for like, you know, 24 months or whatever, will hopefully be like one of the greatest fucking 24 months of our lives or our experiences on the island or whatever, you know? Yeah. Or even if you can pioneer a whole new way of like business or cafes or culture or whatever, and then other people, you know, put their branding on it, and then it like sets a new standard. Yeah. Like, that to me is like something worth doing it for. Like, that's what I would love. I would love for it to be like, oh, like, that's the cafe that like pioneered this new standard of like health or, you know, portions or prices, and like made it a better place. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
sick.
Oh man, I'd love that, bro. Yeah. I don't give I really like.
What did you think, like, because I said in one of my videos recently, like, I'm going to speak to Ben and just open house in Ibiza and make our own gym with
I don't trust myself over there, bro.
No.
I had 2 weeks there and like, I like, fuck. Like,
but do you think you would ever like to get to the stage where you could potentially franchise it?
Nah, I don't think so. I think I have like other ideas and other branding that I would like to try. That's like a bit more mainstream. I think
like
it has.
What?
Well, I don't want to say the names,
Okay.
but that's the hardest part, right? You know, like coming up with a name.
Also, Ben, if you look at Open House on the Instagram, or if you've ever been, you'll see like all the crazy designs, like the sunflowers, all the logos and stuff. Ben pretty much does the majority of that himself.
Yeah. So Damien Arena is our like graphic guy.
Yeah.
And then me and him work together, like sketching and coming up with concepts and stuff like that. He's a very good friend of mine that I met online. And yeah, he's a graffiti artist, like a mural artist. And I think that's why it is so unique. And like we actually like gave a bit of our stuff to some graphic designers, and it's like, no offense to those people or like that industry, but like it's definitely got this like cookie cutter template fucking, it's like, oh, like café, Bali, yeah, I know how to do that. It's like a little palm tree with a fucking bamboo writing or some shit. And you look at it and you're like, man, like we just look like every other motherfucker in town now. So, and it's a risk because you're like trying to like, push like a new concept or whatever. It's like if you were to like merge 2 genres of music and everyone's like, no one's going to listen to that. And then like 2 years later, it's like fucking the next best thing. You know what I mean? Like the innovating is like extremely difficult and like the hard path. And, imitating stuff is the easy way. But like,
yeah, like let's brainstorm and steal everyone's ideas on Pinterest and then.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. You're supposed to like get your experiences. You're supposed to look at those things and like, because you can see like if you drive past a building like that they've just like gone on Pinterest, and me and Ngung were looking at it today. He goes, I showed him this place and I said, this is like really aesthetic, and he goes, this is a Pinterest building, and I was like, so true. But you need to get your own experiences and your own designs, and I think not everybody's into art and fucking design and graphic design, and so I love that shit, man. I love fashion. Mine comes from fashion. Like Open House is like branded through like 90s, like I love that sort of Y2K sort of thing. I've always been super fond of it, that's why it's like got the little globe. It kind of looks like a skate brand.
Yeah, I really like it. And like
like if you start, like remember I was saying to you before about if you start something, right? If you start a run club, right, and you just call it like running department or whatever, like what everyone does, they write all the same shit on the back of the shirts. It's like, it's not really like a brand, you know what I mean? But if you just call it like whatever, like if I just was to call it Hellbent, for example, then like it's omni-brandable all of a sudden. I can see it on a shirt, I can see it on a billboard, I can see it on a website, I can see it on the fucking social media, you know what I mean?
What does Hellbent mean? Because Ben's just told me a story about this.
It was probably a bad example, I'm not plugging it.
It relates to a honey badger. So Ben I was like, what does Hellbent mean? And then he proceeded on showing me a video on YouTube of a honey badger that can escape any. Yeah,
his name was Stoffel. It was like in South Africa, and it's an old video, and I remember this. The guy was like saying, he was like, no matter what I did, like he built this huge pen in the ground, and he just kept escaping, and then he goes, he was hell bent on escaping. I saw it like 10 years ago, and I was like, fuck. I was like, what the fuck? I said the same thing to you. What the fuck does that mean? And then I looked it up, and it's just this like state of being like mentally, like, and I loved it because like that's how I am towards like Open House. I'm like hell bent on my vision. You know what I mean?
Like nothing can stop you.
Nothing can stop you, man. I'm fucking gonna get it done no matter what. And I think like to me, I'm like, that's why I'm like, this to me is like, if I was to like make a brand called like Mega Iron, and it's like bodybuilding. It's like all of a sudden I've pushed myself into a little box and I'm like stuck with this like little niche thing. But if I call it Hellbent, like you can be Hellbent on anything. You know what I mean? Hellbent, yeah, Hellbent, fucking CrossFit, Hellbent, running, Hellbent, swimming, whatever. Like, and that to me is like omni-brandable. Now I can all of a sudden like, for me, when I think about this, I wanted to see it like sponsoring like events, like Hellbent golf, Hellbent this, like that. And this is just a little side project that I enjoy because it's like a creative outlet for me. And I'm doing it with a friend back home in Australia. Who like has the same sort of passion as us, like, and that's why I choose to work with him and stuff like that. It's just slow and steady though, because like for me, values and principles and morals and all that sort of shit are really important to me. Like, I don't want to just release something and then they're like, oh, what is it? And you're like, oh, it's just like whatever. Like, to me, it's like when you wear those flowers, it's like, oh, he listens to good music. He's a good person. He's healthy. You know, he's balanced. He's fun. You know what I mean? That's what I want. That's like, for me, one of the important parts of building this thing, because, you know, businesses have like an unwritten law to like build culture in a community. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's what the biggest thing I think for 2025 is going to be, that every single brand, if they're remotely intelligent, will be going into community.
100%.
Like that's
but that's what I was saying to you before. I think people are getting smarter. They're figuring out the ones that are organic and the ones that are artificial. You know what I mean? It's really easy for someone to go, yeah, I'm community fucking, we're like, you know, we're doing this, we're doing that. And it's like, you can feel like there's like no substance to it. Like, they don't truly believe that they want to build a community or whatever.
That's why I love, like, even my paid community, which is the Creator Club, for helping people get better at creating content. Like, I never even have to market it or really sell it. Like, I'll do maybe a couple of posts a month on my stories, but like, everyone just filters through my content. And again, as you said, like, the flowers, the music, that filters out the Karens.
Yeah.
And like, my personal brand, so like everything that I post on YouTube and Instagram filters out also the people that don't like me. Like, the people who don't like me or don't really share the same values as me, they're not going to join my paid community. So like,
that's a big part of it, actually, man. It's good that you brought that up, because like, that's a big thing to deal with. Like, when you start something like what you've done or what I've done, is like, you do get a lot of feedback or like hate or whatever. And like, it's actually really difficult to deal with. I found it very difficult at the start. I think I've gotten over it now. I don't think anyone, like, I mean, even for us, like, just say business competition, I used to get super, like, it used to stick with me a lot. But then I was just like, sort of saw it as like a bit of like a, I don't know, like, what's the word?
It can definitely be frustrating when people like straight up copy. Like, I'm sure that probably happens to you a lot.
Coming from, like, I love crypto and like coding and all that sort of stuff. I'm not a coder, but I love like the whole concept of it. And I used to watch these guys like make these, like, you know, they would code these platforms or these Web3 services, and then like, it's open source and anyone can just fork it. And I always used to think, fuck, like, this team has just like fucking built this open source code, and someone's just forked it and put their own brand on it. And like, it must like fucking infuriate them, man. And you can see sometimes with them on like Twitter, like trying to deal with those emotions, and you learn pretty quick, like, that's not the right way to go about it. Like, you just need to I said it the other day, even for us, like, you just need to stay in your lane and just look forwards. And I said, like, we didn't get to where we got to by looking left and right. I've never sat in another cafe in Pereira, not once.
Have you not?
Only baked. That's where I used to go. I used to go to Baked in the morning. I'd go train at Wrong Gym, and then I'd go to Tribal, and I'd eat lunch and dinner there, and I'd work on my laptop.
Tribal?
That's where I used to go every day.
Really?
Yeah. And they copied our menu too.
Yeah.
But like, I don't mind. I like it. I'm like, well, that's what I said to you before. Like, we made it a better place. Like, I think the funny thing is like, the people who do it, and this is what I'm saying, like, where I think people are getting smarter again, is like, if you knew what it was you were doing, you would have already been doing it. You know what I mean? If you truly lived and breathed nutrition and training, you would have had the fucking menu. It's not that hard. You know what I mean? It came from my own personal experience. No one was really doing it. I mean, it existed, I think, at the gym. What's that gym called? Body Factory?
Yeah.
And Motion?
Yeah.
I think they had that, but I think we just simplified it. I never even been... I've had waffles at Motion once. I've never eaten any of their other food. I've never eaten from dispensary. I know what these places are. I've never eaten from any of them. And I think that's why, like, I've just gone, like, this is my experience and this is what I want.
I think sometimes being, like, just, like, that's how I am as well. Like, what I like, I want.
Yeah.
And, like, if I can create something around what I like and I want,
then someone else must be feeling the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would never walk into another place and be like, how much is this? Like, what are they doing? How are they doing this? Where do they get these fucking plates from or whatever? Like, I've never, ever done that, man. I don't give a fuck what anyone else is doing. And I've always been like that in life. Like, that's why I've never had social media, man. Like, I've never really used it. That's why our Instagram at Open House sucks, because I don't really know how to use it. I've never been big on social media. I've never really... Funny. Yeah, I don't care about anybody else's lives or like...
Cindy just gets annoyed because she can't see pictures of the menu on the...
Yeah, man, everyone does, man. But like, even if you drive past, like, if you drive through the shortcut, there's all the banners like of all the restaurants and shit like that. And they've all got pictures of the food and like it's like a spaghetti and shit. And then you come around the corner and we've just got a dog. And but like for me, the brand is more important. Like I don't want anyone, like the food is like 1%. And that's the funny thing that I find about when
people don't understand, like the food is so good. Like,
yeah, but it's like, to me, the food is like a subcategory of like the whole bigger picture. It's like 1% for me. Like the food is 1%. That like, to me, the brand's 99% because anyone can make. People are like, oh wait, like there's so many cafes in Canggu. Like, why are you gonna open a cafe? And I was like, yeah, anyone can make fucking scrambled eggs, but I know why I'm sitting here. You know what I mean? And it's branded. True. Yeah, anyone can make scrambled. You go eat fucking scrambled eggs anywhere, bro. And it's all like the same price. Because branding's the only thing that separates it. But branding is like the overarching word, but it's still under there as like community, culture, people, fucking...
Did you go to university and study any of this?
No.
No?
Fuck no, I'd never go to uni. Uni's
real
the
life
biggest
experience.
Scam and, yeah, just fucking... that's what we were talking about before, awareness analysis, bro. You just go through life. I've been here for 35 years. I've experienced so much stuff. And I think like this is the other thing that is really important to talk about is action and thought. You know what I mean? You have to think, but you actually have to do shit as well. And I know so many people in life and people that, not that I mentor, but people that come and ask me for advice, and I can see straight away that they're stuck in one or the other. They're like thinking too much about everything and not doing anything. And then I've got other people that do too much and they fuck everything up because they're not thinking. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you need to have like a balance between both thinking and doing. I personally like probably am a little bit in too much in... Actually, I don't know, man. I got pretty good balance, to be honest, not being biased. But like I think a lot. I really fucking think a lot, man. And I'm like a very strong visualizer. Like I'm always already where I want to be. And I understand that. I spoke to Addy about it the other day. We've had so many good conversations. And like I said to you as well, like where does this come from? You know, where does this come from? It's just a thought. Now it's here. It's a very simple concept, man. Like people like, call it whatever you want to call it, the secret, the fucking whatever. Where did this come from? Now it's here. Thoughts materialize. Simple fucking concept. So it's in your best interest to be in control of the source, which is consciousness, thought, or whatever. And this is the most important part probably of this whole conversation. Because like you are who you are and where you are because you're the sum of all your thoughts and all your decisions that you make. You know what I mean? And I'm the same.
Yeah, someone actually asked me when I asked for the questions, even though we haven't used a single one of them, are you spiritual or like what are your like belief system like?
Yeah, I'm definitely 100% religious. After my own personal experiences, I think like if you experience like complete evil, then you obviously understand that complete good exists or whatever. And like the world's a very strange place. You know what I mean?
But I always say the same, like, I truly think if you believe it sounds so unbelievably cliche, but if you believe it, you can achieve it.
Yeah, of course. And that's why, I think the system has been very good at making spirituality or like this belief thing or whatever, like seem like this like fucking voodoo fucking, you know, cliche magic shit. But it's like, that's what I mean, man. Like, it's very simple. Like this, like, where does it come from? It's just an idea. You sketch it and then you start building it and then it's here. You know what I mean? Where did all of this come from? But then like what we spoke about, you know, if I can prove right now that this came from a thought, which we can, right? It has to be an idea and now it's here. How do you explain nature? You know what I mean? If it's the same concept, then there must be something there that's imagined all of this or thought about all of this. That's the way I see it.
Wow, that's interesting. I never thought about that before until now.
Yeah, well, that's
so simple. Interesting.
That's like, to me, that's like pretty simple.
Yeah, I never actually ever thought like that.
Yeah, well, humans are the most like precious thing on earth, man. It's funny if you ask someone, you say like, what do you think is the most precious thing on earth? And they'll be like, oh, money, or like water, or fucking this or that. It's like, man, it's fucking you fucking goblin. You know, like they don't understand that. And so they don't understand that it's in something's best interest to control the most precious thing on earth. You know what I mean? You want to control like resources and, you know, logistics and all that sort of shit. But you want to control people because they're the most precious thing on earth. You and me are the most precious things on earth. You know, he's the most precious thing on earth. His mind, his body, his spirit, and his soul is the most precious thing on earth. So like, and a lot of people can't understand that, or they don't want to believe it because it's very difficult. Like it's a lot to take in. You know what I mean? So the sooner you can transcend, you know, that sort of like prison or whatever.
Yeah.
Call it whatever you want. The sooner you can get towards whatever it is that your freedom is, I guess. For me, it's freedom, man. Some people want to have a family and shit. I think like a lot of people don't actually sit down and think about what they truly want because the system feeds you your dreams and you're
told that like by the time
this is what you got to do, man.
When you have this, now you're successful.
When
you have this, now you've achieved everything.
That's why I think to me, like I think about it so much. I'm like, what is the overall arching goal? And like to me, like I always come back to freedom. Because then I'm like making my own decisions and my own thoughts and carving my own path or whatever. And even though that sounds all very individualistic and is that a word?
Individualistic.
Well, let's just fuck. We need like
it's like Hellbent.
You know how Joe Rogan like has that guy that pulls shit up?
Jamie.
Yeah. We need a guy like that.
Individualist.
Individualistic.
It's a new word now. We'll leave it in.
Let's just add it to the dictionary. Yeah. Yeah, I know that sounds like very, selfish or whatever, but like obviously your morals and your intent. Like we're doing this now. Why are we doing this now? Because you hope to inspire someone else. Like you're supposed to live in the service of others. You know, that's the whole point of life, and that's a religious thing in my opinion. I don't like the word religion. I don't like. I've read a lot of philosophical shit, and I've been very obsessed with it. And probably something that like people look at me and they're like, that know me but don't know me.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, they think Benn's just like super cool, super chill, super laid back. Like he comes here, he DJs, he runs the restaurant. Like there's nothing to it. But what they don't see behind the scenes, like behind the closed doors.
Yeah, but that's how you get to that point, understanding those things.
That's what other people don't understand because they think like just because they see you there, like
you have to be interested in that shit, man. You know, like it's because you're a human, man. You're a human on Earth and this world, so like it's in your like you got to have questions, man. I was thinking about this today. Like people who don't question anything, like you don't get answers. You know what I mean? And like that's like a huge part of it. You go like, why is this happening? Or like, why am I thinking that? Like you can't get too caught up in it, obviously. But asking questions is the only way to get answers. And like if you don't have that curiosity about you won't figure anything out. And like spirituality, consciousness, religion or whatever, like the people like they don't make that shit up.
Curiosity is that's one thing. Like I will just ask anyone anything. Like,
same, man. I'm so curious, bro. But like I love getting into my own research as well. You know, I've always been like a massive like in my downtime like I'll like read a lot of books and a lot of philosophical stuff. One of the best books that I could ever recommend to anyone, which I actually don't read a lot and I don't listen to podcasts. So like a lot of my own, that's why I get a little bit nervous to like articulate my thoughts because I'm experiencing all these things and I understand the principles of what like say Alex Hormones. Yeah. I don't even know his fucking name, man.
Yeah.
I know who he is. He comes up in my algorithm all the time, but I don't watch their stuff.
That's the thing, like you don't need to.
No, but because I'm experiencing what they've already experienced and I don't like really want, like I was saying to you before, I can't watch Alex Hormozy and then be like, okay, now I know how to not fail. I have to fail and I'm like, all right, whatever. Like I'm just going to accelerate. I love accelerationism, by the way. Do you know what accelerationism is?
No, is that another made up word?
No, it's like where like, I love it for the sense of like my scenario, but it's like where billionaires think that the world's fucked anyway. So let's just fucking, accelerate to the point of like complete destruction at the cost of like nature, people, whatever, like they don't care. They're like, we're going there anyway. Let's just go there now. You know what I mean? And like, I'm like that with my life and business and stuff. I'm like, I'm going to fucking fail. You know what I mean? Like, that's not going to stop me from fucking opening a cafe or like opening another one or like building my dream or whatever that I'm visualizing. I know I'm going to deal with whatever's going to happen. So I'm just going to fucking do it and deal with it. You know what I mean?
So true.
I just accelerate towards that point of like fucking implosion. And
it's the best way to learn anything, or it's the best way to make progress. Like, even if my event this weekend, the mastermind, like, that was literally an idea. Like,
is that the first one you've ever done?
Yeah, that was.
How'd it go?
Really good. Everyone literally loved it. And like, from now on, now it just gets easier.
Were you a bit nervous?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horribly nervous.
Yeah.
But like, that's good.
Fine. That's
some
good.
people never feel nervous.
Who?
Like, some people who don't take risks.
Said that?
Some people who don't do scary stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
people who sit in the house and play PlayStation and Xbox and don't do anything.
But I think so. Like, I think those people need to exist. You know, I don't know. Like, I'm pretty harsh with those people. Like, you know, the whole NPC thing. Like, I'm very like into it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I'm like, you're an NPC. Like, it's fine. Like, these characters need to exist in the game. Like, someone has to be there at the counter. You know, like, I think the best example when I first watching it was like when I first heard about it was like Pokemon. And I grew up playing it, and you'd go to the Pokemon Center, and the guy's there every day, and he's like, yeah, I'll take your Pokemon and look after him, and then he gives them back. And then you go out and you come back and he's there again. And like, in life, you have those characters, and like, they need to be there, and like, and we all need to go through that point. But like, when you're ready to transcend that, that's when you like go into main character mode, I guess. I think like gamification for me is like, I grew up playing so many games, man. I'm like, my whole life I see as like an RPG game. You know, like, I'm just like this on quests, you know, and I've seen a lot of people make like, you know, analogies about that. And I love it. I think it's like, you're just experiencing and leveling up. We spoke about it the other day, saying like, you go on a side quest and you might not even get any loot, but you get experience. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what that like last March, I had an experience on the mushies.
Yep.
And like,
did you turn into a video game character?
No, but I realized that we all have one mission, but we'll all go on side quests until we find our main purpose.
Yeah.
And like, the side quests are fine. Like, don't be worried if you end up on a side quest, because that's the experience that you need to eventually find the main path.
That's what I was saying to you before. Like, whatever it is that you're doing now, just enjoy it, because you're going to need that experience at some point. Like, I hated being a fucking electrician, man. Like, I hated working up north with all these fat motherfuckers, like, unhealthy, like, and they're just like, fuck, I hate my kids, I hate my wife.
Tradies.
Yeah, oh man, like, the guy, like this, that, fuck, oh, did you see this on the news? And I always used to just stand there every morning. I'm like, I'm not supposed to be here with these cunts. You know, like, every fucking day I'd be like, I'm not supposed to be here, I'm not supposed to be here. But I also appreciated my opportunity and like what it was giving me, and I knew what I was working towards, you know. Having a goal is like so important, man. Like, I don't know how, like, you know, when I meet some people and they're like, I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, I don't know. I'm like, fuck, that must suck, man. Like, I always know what I'm working towards. And if it changes, it doesn't matter if it changes in 2 days. At least for 2 days, you're going forwards. You know, like, you don't have this, like, no rudder on your boat. You know, the rudder's like your goals, and you're just like, or whatever, you know. And then, yeah, I think, like, and I see a lot of people, like, are trying to, like, fuck with that system. They're like, don't set goals, like, build systems or build fucking this and all this sort of shit. And it's like when you set a goal, you automatically, your brain is like, and your body is like designed to like automatically take you to that place. And that's like visualization, imagination, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you should be able to see yourself there. People that can't imagine things freak me the fuck out, man. They're definitely NPCs. Like, when I say to someone like, oh, can you imagine this? And they're like, no, I need to see the fish on the table.
Yeah, I need to, like, they tell you, like, you need to be realistic.
Yeah, you're like, imagine a fish on the table. Like, I can't. I need to see this giant fish on this table for me to imagine it. And it's like, fuck, like, you don't have an imagination. So how can you, like, see yourself, you know, in your dream Bali villa with your dream family or your dream job, making your dream fucking income or whatever? Like, you have to be able to imagine it.
So true.
Yeah, I've always, man, like, for me, like, that's what I mean. Like, I opened this, yeah, but like, I was always thinking about it for like many years. There's many things I want to do that I think about. Like I would love to open my own production studio. Like to me, that would be an even bigger dream. You know, like that would make me even happier than open house. You know, I would
make music.
Yeah, that's all I want to do. I just want to make music, and then I want to see like someone play it one day. That would be like, fuck, I would lose my marbles, man.
Let's say.
But yeah, like you still envision those things, and you still work towards those things. You just got to be patient, and visualization is the absolute key, man. Because thoughts.
Do you write anything down? Like, do you write do you write anything that you're grateful down? Do you journal?
I used to, man. When I was the most successful I've ever been was when I was doing that a lot. Like when I was working way up north, I was like super highly motivated. I was like 26, 27. You'd move from like, I'd go work away for 4 weeks, and you'd have like a little room, a little donga that you'd go stay in, and I'd have the same goals written out, and I'd have a picture of a house, and I'd like there's a little shelf like up in here, and I'd like blue tack it in to the shelf, and like every morning when I'd wake up, I'd read it, and every night before I'd go to sleep, I'd read it.
Nice.
And I knew exactly why I was there. It wasn't hard for me, man. And you go speak to these other guys, and they're like, fuck, like this is fucked. I got 3 weeks ago, I got 2 weeks ago, I got 1 week ago, I can't wait. And I'm like, for me, I was like, I know why I'm here, and I know what I'm working towards, and this is actually allowing me to achieve it. I actually think FIFO was like such a fucking, I loved it, eh? And a big thing, right, that I learned up there is that, and like something that is a major trap for a lot of people is like thinking when you finish work that you've earned like some sort of rest or some sort of like leisure time. Like if you truly want something, like if you don't want anything, then it's fine. Go sit on the couch and watch Netflix for fucking 4 hours or watch some dumb TV show or whatever. But if you actually want something, when you finish, that's when the real work begins on like yourself. If you got a job where you can do it learn while you're earning money, that's like even better, you know. Still got to do your job and be respectful and, you know, like not let your teammates down. But if you can like learn something else or like, man, I used to be like fucking obsessed with like time management in terms of like, I got half an hour twice a day. That's what I realized. I was like, I got 2 lunch breaks, half an hour each day, every day for 28 days straight. And I realized I wasn't doing anything. I was like coming in and I'm like, fuck, it's hot. I'm fucked. And I'd like sit there with my arms like in my head. And I'm like, man, it's like fucking like 28 hours. 28 hours is longer than a fucking day. And I'm doing nothing. You know what I mean? And then I started like reading and started like writing and like working on shit and doing stuff. And that's like how I got out of that situation type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm like now. Like I don't have any downtime. Like that's one thing that I kind of like about drinking alcohol again is that that's my downtime.
Yeah.
Like whereas when I was doing 75 hard and stuff, and when I was not drinking alcohol, I was like just from the minute I wake up to the minute I go to bed, work.
Yeah.
Like no
balance.
off switch. Like no balance. And like now when
do you think you have to go through that period though?
Yeah.
You have to, man.
Yeah.
It's funny because I say to people now, I'm like, balance is the key.
Hybrid.
Yeah, hybrid is the key, but it's like also like if you reflect like that period where you did like really, really lock in, there has to be substance there. Like, you know, I think these days you see a lot of people like create these illusions publicly that they're actually achieving something. They're like, oh, I'm like running a marathon, or like I'm training for this High Rocks comp. And it's like, yeah, they're training, they're like documenting the whole thing, and then they leave and then they go back to their 9 to 5 and they sit there and they're struggling and they're miserable as fuck, and they couldn't absorb the principles that they learned from doing whatever it was that they were doing and apply it to other aspects of life. So there was no substance there to begin with, you know what I mean? That's the thing that I find really interesting about people like these days. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very interesting. That's why like it's hard to get it right.
It is. It's a fucking hard game, man. But it's fun. The game's very, very rigged.
But I definitely think what you're right. I think go through those times of extreme discipline, and then that's when you, at the other side of that, that's when you learn more about balance. And once you have balance, then I feel like you can even reach a greater level to success. And of course, you still have to be disciplined to be balanced.
Yeah, exactly, man. And I think my example that I have of this is like what I realized a long time ago is like, I used to be really into bodybuilding, like when I was like 26 or 27 or 25 or something. And I was quite big. And I used to get young guys come up to me in the gym and they'd say like, how did you do this? And I'm like, man, this is all I do. I just eat this. I just eat this. And then like I used to walk away, and then eventually one time I walked away and I was thinking like, hang on, I was like, I didn't do that to get to this point. I was eating like this and training this. I was like fucking going ham, man. And now I'm like giving them advice based on my current situation. And that's like me now. Like if someone comes and says like, I need entrepreneurial advice, and I go, well, you only have to do this. Like now I'm a bit more like aware of like what I actually went through, and I try to explain like that's the phase that you have to go through. And it would be the same for you, man. Like,
yeah, bro, like people don't understand. Like I tell everyone, you're not gonna ever build a successful YouTube channel in 1 year if you're starting from scratch now. Like I don't care who you are, don't care how much money you have. Like if you've never done it before, like you're not gonna do it in 1 year. Like it takes repetitions. Like even if you throw all the money at a camera guy, a videographer, an editor, like everything, you still won't do it in 1 year. Like it takes momentum. Like you have to earn it. You have to put those repetitions in.
And how much has it changed from you just doing stuff? You know, like how much have you like gone like, oh, hang on, like you've rewatched something and then you're like, oh, like maybe we should do this. Maybe
exactly. And like when you put all the time in the world, or you do invest in a video team and you put all this effort in and then it doesn't do well, and then you're like, well, what the fuck? Like it does performs better when I just put my camera on the tripod. Like people need to learn to understand all of that stuff, and that's why like I don't really do one-to-one coaching with people. But if they are really keen to work together, like the first thing I have to tell them is like, bro, like this isn't going to take 1 year. Like you have to be in this, like not for monetary reasons. You have to be in it because you actually want to make YouTube videos and you're passionate about it.
It's just life in general, man, as well. Like that's why it's like such a big game of just like constantly leveling up, because like you'll never have it all figured out. Like even now for me, that's why I don't like doing these things. I always watch podcasts and I go like, why is this motherfucker on this podcast? Like he hasn't figured anything out. You know what I mean? And that's why I was always so apprehensive to go on them, because I'm like, I don't have any value to bring, like to.
I'm also quite sneaky as well. I basically just didn't give Ben a choice. I just said, like, bro, I'm leaving tomorrow. Like, I need you on my podcast. Like, can you come on? And also, I always said that I would never have anyone on my podcast who I don't really like. Like, it has to be someone that I really like and that I'm really curious about and that I'm actually interested in. And that's why I kind of just was like, bro, are you free tomorrow for an hour and a half? Like, I just want you on there. And like, it's been good. I haven't asked you one single question.
I feel like
we've just talked for an hour and a half. We're 6 minutes over.
I feel like I could fucking
bro, like
for a long time.
Imagine if we had a margarita in this as well.
Oh, and just some decks just in the background, just a little bit of light. No, but I think and I think that is when it is good though, bro. Like when you don't, you know, it's just a yarn, and I feel like that's probably the better type of content. You know, I hate structured shit, man. I can't watch podcasts, bro. I can't watch them.
Can you listen to them? You don't
hate them, dude. I fucking hate them.
What about if you were traveling on a plane? What do you hate about them?
I don't know, man. I hate how much influence they have over people as well. You know what I mean?
How do you feel about this podcast?
Well, I mean, like I said, I'm super apprehensive to do shit like this. This is the first one I've ever done. I get people ask me all the time to do them, and I always say no. Because I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I guess for me, I'm just a fucking introvert, man. And I think value is like a big thing for me.
But I just think like the impact that this podcast will have on so many people, like one person could listen to this and it'll change their life forever. Yeah. Just because of the things that they've learned about mindset from you.
Yeah.
So that's why
I think, like I said though, like I think for me, like I'm still learning, man. You know. I'm still learning. I'm like still a major student. Like I think of myself as like, you know, level 1 goblin running around, like trying to figure shit out. And like, I don't mind having these conversations, but I don't want it to be like, this is what you should do, because like there's so many different factors and variables. And
that's why whenever I teach anything, I teach, this is how I did it. This is what works for me.
Yeah.
You can maybe like adapt or adopt some of these principles and put it into your own life, and if it works for you, then that's good. But like this works for me, so like I can't tell you what's going to work for you or not.
Yeah. And I think that's why principles are like more important than actual situation, like personal situations. You know, like I'd rather talk about things that I've put into practice that I know, and multiple times that I know have worked. And I think that's like a law that governs business or mindset or whatever. And I'd rather like push that into someone. But the thing is, man, is like you said, is like you'd have to like, I had to fucking brainwash the fuck out of myself for like many, 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 many years. Like over and over and over again, because like it's extremely hard to like deprogram yourself from your childhood, because like it's just set up to fuck you. Like, you know, deep down inside, if you like want something like bigger or more, and it might stick with you, but you might not escape that. Like, what you said, you were still putting in Ibiza like when 3 years ago?
1 year ago.
Well, there you go. You know, you were fucking, and now you're like on a new journey now at what, 32?
31.
31. And
yeah,
so
it's crazy. I think that's another thing as well. People just don't put a time on anything.
Never. I think 30s is the best years of your life, man. Like, I've had the most fun in the last 5 years. Like, more mature, better friends, more money, more knowledge.
More opportunities.
More opportunities. Like, I think as long as you look after your health and
I think you're wise enough to, like, filter out good people and bad people.
Yeah.
Which is one of the most important things.
Yeah.
Right. We have to wrap up. One final question. What is the next step, like, with Open House, with yourself? Like, what do you want to do next?
I just want to build a big one.
A bigger one?
Yeah. Not necessarily big, but, like, I just want to, like, be able to have, like, events and stuff like that. I want to be able to have events and I want to be able to fit all my friends in and, you know, not, like, I've already designed it all. It's so cool, man. I'm so pumped, bro. You should, like, we're so limited where we are now, but I think now that we've got proof of concept, like, we've got confidence to push through to the next level. And like I said, I really want it to be like a community-driven thing. You know what I mean? Like, I want people to be a part of it somehow. I think I've worked it out. I'll explain it to you at some point. But yeah, I think that's the future, is like community-branded events, like, and really giving a lot of power to the people, you know, because like for me, like, I know we're over, but like if someone comes into Open House and says I want this, I just do it for them. You know what I mean? I've never been like, oh no, we can't do that. Like, no, that's not a part of my vision or my brand. Like, you know, it's always been like, yeah, man, like, you want fish? Like, half the menu is built from requests. Like, I'm not a genius. I just listen to people, and they're the best businesses in the world. All the ones that I've looked at, you know, I've seen all these ones, like, I've watched these startups, and they're like, how did you do this? And they're like, we just contacted all our customers. And that's like what Open House is as well, you know, and that's the same for you too. Like, you listen and learn and then apply, you know.
Yeah, like,
I mean?
I always, that's one of the, if people can understand that concept, like, in my community, I constantly ask everyone, what do you want more of? What can I do differently? What can I do better? What sucks? Like, just tell me honestly to my face, or send it to me privately rather than in the group chat. Tell me, and then I can fix it. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, that's why I think as well, it's better to, like, if it's possible, start your startup or your dream or your vision, like, as an individual, or like maximum like 2 people, because then, like, it makes it a lot easier to make those decisions. Like, if someone comes in and speaks to a gung or me, they're like, and it's just me and him. If we want to change the menu tomorrow, we just change it. You know what I mean? And like, for you as well, it's just you make that decision. I think when you got to go to like a group of people or some investors or fucking some shit, it just makes it so much harder. And that's why a lot of businesses struggle, because they can't evolve to the demands, because there's too many like leaders and too much control, man. They're like, no,
aren't involved.
Yeah, we can't do that. And it's just like, fuck, man. Like, this is what people want. That's why you start a fucking business, for people, not for yourself.
Yeah, to please the customer. The customer always comes first.
100%.
Right, boss.
That's why I please myself, because like, I'm my own customer.
Exactly.
I know that sounds fucked up, but it's true.
And like, I don't think that's selfish at all. I think that's how it should be. You know how to best please yourself.
Well, because you're experiencing, and then you go like, oh, we need this, we need that. Well, I need this, I need that.
Oh, very quickly, one last one before we go. Tell the people about the 1-star review that you got recently.
Oh, I don't want to talk. Do I have to talk about that?
Nah, you don't have to.
This guy like left this review that was like supposed to be like a joke. And he said like, don't go to this place. Like he eats there every day and he loves it. And he left a 1-star review that said like, I got sick. I gave it to the dogs.
I give it to the dogs.
The dogs got sick.
I was like, it took so long. Like he made it out to be the worst place ever. And then Ben like messaged him being like, bro, why have you put this here? Like you've eaten here every day and you tell me that you love it. And he was like, oh, it was just sarcasm. Like it was just a joke.
He's like, what did he say? He was like, this is like UK humor.
Yeah.
He's like, it was like a red herring. And I was just like, is the UK down that bad that like they have to like resort to this? Like, because there's a lot of restrictions going on over there on social media and shit at the moment.
Yeah, bro. And also like just doing that, like nobody else understands that joke.
It's dumb as fuck, man. It was one of the dumbest. It was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen, bro. Like I literally said to him, I was like, bro, like you just fucked up our whole thing. Like you just dumb. Oh, I'm glad we got to end on that.
Yeah. Right. Thanks so much, Ben. Legend, bro. Thank you. That was sick.